and welcome to the second Wisdom Collaboratory. I'm George CAPPANNELLI, and along with my wife and partner, Sadina, and our good collaborator, Nathan, I'll be one of your hosts. And we sincerely hope that in our time together, we'll have another opportunity to improve the quality of our individual and collective lives, the well-being of our nation and of our precious habitat. In our first session, we talked about collaboratories and how this kind of meeting without walls can help us create a better future. In this session, we're going to talk about some of the tools and support we can use to get from a really dysfunctional and troubling here to a much more sane, conscious, and remarkable there. This session, we're going to start with a quote by St. Augustine, who said, "He who created us without our help will not save us without our participation." This quote reminds me of an indisputable truth. We're in a time of unprecedented challenges, both as a nation and as a global community. And in this case, these challenges are potentially game-ending. But we're also in a time of remarkable opportunities. And from my point of view, this combination makes our participation in creating the future not only necessary, but essential. Because as Tom Hartman, the radio show host, used to remind us, representative democracy is not a spectator sport, nor is our commitment to the commons, to freedom, justice, equality, human rights, and a host of other things. At least they're not spectator sports if we want to keep enjoying these rights and privileges in the years ahead. The second quote comes from President Obama, who during a Medal of Freedom ceremony in 2011, honoring the late Congressman John Lewis for his lifetime of courage and commitment, had this to say: "Change cannot wait for some other person or some other time. Change always has a fierce urgency of now, a fierce urgency of now." These two quotes taken together remind me of our essential roles, individual and collective. We can either pretend that everything's okay and go about our personal business and leave democracy to someone else to keep alive, or we can play our part in elevating our way of life, fulfilling the promise that's found in our founding documents, and protecting this precious planet that we call home. So in this session, we'll talk about the ways we can get from this time of confusion, chaos, and doubt to one where we script and manifest a new story full of real possibilities of hope, of compassion and equality and justice and truth and love and all the other things that add up to individual empowerment. And not just for some people who think they're special, but for all of humanity. During our time together, we'll do more valuable guided imagery and centering processes. You'll have the opportunity to share some of your hopes and thoughts. We'll hear valuable insights from our wisdom keepers, Tom Moore, John Gray, and ANITA MOORJANI. Steve Berriman will join us a little later with his wit and unique humor, and will introduce you to some valuable ways you can create the world that you want. Since I shared a quote from President Obama earlier about John Lewis, it seems appropriate to close this piece with a quote by John Lewis himself. As many of you know, he was called the conscience of Congress, and his commitment to love and truth will be sorely missed in this time when so many of our elected officials seem to be so lacking in commitment to both of these qualities. "Do not get lost in a sea of despair," he said. "Be hopeful, be optimistic. Ours is not the struggle of a day or a week or a year, but it's the struggle of a lifetime. So never be afraid to make some noise and to get in good trouble." So in this awkward time, we invite you to join us in making some noise and getting in a whole lot of good trouble. For in the end, it's probably the only thing that stands a chance of waking up the sleepwalkers and reactionaries who have a stranglehold on our government. Making some good noise is the only thing that probably will give us a chance to truly reclaim our sovereignty and become, as Bucky Fuller encouraged us to be, the architects of the future and not its victims. Now here's Sedina.
Welcome, everyone. We're really glad that you're here. In order to be an architect of the future, I think what's really needed is perspective. And there's a Cherokee saying that I like that puts a lot of things, a lot of this that we're going through into perspective. It says, to a flea, a dog is the whole world. And if you think about it, much of our focus has been on the proverbial dog. So it's time to expand that view, come into a wider, higher perspective. And I'm sure you agree with me. We have to be careful not to let fear steal our joy. Fear is a contaminant. It's actually a virus of its own. And if we aren't careful, it can control us. And we can also be consumed by the drama and the trauma of this world situation. It's so easy to define ourselves by the moment of struggle that we're in. And yet we are so much more than all of this. We are spiritual beings having an amazing physical experience, I would say. We are ageless. If we're flexible, however, in the face of fear, we can bend without breaking. We can see the chaos and not fall under it. This requires learning to do things differently than we imagined. It's about adaptability and resilience, and these things are actually things we're learning in the midst of all this shifting times that we're in. It's important, though, to stay out of disappointment. It happens that we get disappointed when we're attached to things being a certain way. And this is a time to be flexible and move in a new direction with balance and focus and clarity and compassion, so we can revision and revise how we want to live our lives. That's our choice. That's why we're here in this collaboratory to take our choice back. This is a room without walls where we can share our knowledge, our experience, and our unique wisdom with each other and be supported in moving in a new and a sustainable direction. We are such highly creative beings, and we create our own reality. We can create a future that we're happy to be in, to live in, to love in, beyond the limitations of our minds and the worldview that we're in. If we keep our minds focused on what we want, we will be creating this new vision and a new reality for ourselves and our world. It really does begin with each one of us. Thanks. And
yeah, thanks, Sedina, and thank you, George. Such beautiful openings. And, it's so true what both of you said, especially what you just said, Sedina, that it really does begin with each one of us. And the truth is, we each have the power to make choices for our lives that impact our future and the future of our children and grandchildren. Oftentimes we think that we are powerless, just one person in the face of a giant wheel of misfortune, and we then ask ourselves, what can one person do against so much tyranny, oppression, abuse, and dysfunction perpetrated by so many? I know it's something that I personally have felt from time to time. But the truth is, that's all it ever really takes is one person in the face of adversity to stand up for our rights, our freedom, our health, and our civil liberties. It took Rosa Parks a single moment of inspiration and courage to finally say, enough is enough. I will not go back to the back of the bus anymore. And after being arrested for defying the unjust and racist laws of segregation at the time, that moment eventually led to the famous Montgomery bus boycott, lasting over a year, eventually dismantling segregation on public transport, helping birth the civil rights movement, some of which we're still continuing to move forward with today. Another story from my own personal experience, being addicted to drugs and alcohol as a teenager, homeless, emotionally distraught, depressed, honestly just lost in life. unhealthy and truly headed for the grave at an early age. I mean, I was really lucky to make it to even 18 years old. But through a moment of inspiration, I began seeking a better life. I gave up everything I knew, started over, and began diving deep into researching and experimenting with health and healing and spirituality. One step, one action, one shift, one exercise, one meditation, one question in one moment at a time. And now, 15 years later, I've had the great privilege to be clean and sober and raising two beautiful and healthy children, becoming the healthiest that I've ever been in my life so far, and enjoying the work I do in the world, working with and learning from some of the greatest inspirational and spiritual teachers of our time, and being able to reach and help over 1 million people now with information and education about health, healing, consciousness, and sustainability. And even though it feels like, I've already lived like 5 lifetimes, I also feel like I'm just barely getting started on this journey. And one thing I know for sure is that the power of one person who stands up for their rights, their freedom, and their desire to live a healthy, just, and meaningful life truly can not only change their own life, no matter what age we are, but can change and transform and inspire the lives of people around them and the lives of so many more around the world.
Thanks, Nathan. Speaking of changing our lives and positively impacting the lives of others, as part of our commitment to you and to ourselves and our time together, we're going to do our best to invite you to do some processes that can help us achieve greater alignment and balance, and therefore better create the kind of world each of us wants. Today, we're going to do a short process that comes from the work of Doc Childera and the team at HeartMath. They've confirmed that we actually have 2 brains, one in our head that is clearly often overworked and in trouble, and the second one is comprised of 40,000 cells that are located in our heart. And each of us now can confirm that this brain, the brain in our heart, is actually the center of true human intelligence and the way we access wisdom that flows to us and through us. Until recently, of course, the world only worshiped the brain in our head, claiming that our ability to reason and think are keys to our success. But when I look around at the mess that's happening, that thinking has created, I question the validity of this worship. Indeed, as Lester Levinson, the founder of the Sedona Institute, used to say, thinking is stinking. So let's verify what Lester and other wisdom keepers in all traditions throughout history have been telling us, that an alignment between head and heart, what folks at HeartMath called heart-brain coherence, is the real key to living a remarkable life. So let's just take a moment or two to verify this for ourselves. If you're comfortable, close your eyes for a minute or two. Just take a couple of slow, deep breaths. Inhale through your nose, hold, then exhale through your mouth. Inhale, hold, exhale. As you continue to breathe in this way, I ask you to bring your focus to the area around your heart. And to help you do this, you might want to bring one of your hands up and just gently place the fingertips on your heart. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. As you do this, notice a sense of quiet and peace that you begin to feel. Notice a kind of sense of coming into greater balance and ease. Inhale, hold, exhale. Feel what it's like to begin to establish this vital alignment between your heart and your head. And then when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. That's just a couple of moments. But throughout our time together and in the days ahead, we invite you to keep practicing this heart-brain connection. And don't be afraid to use your fingertips to help you make the connection. It really is a practice that can truly change your life.
Such a beautiful and powerful practice. Yeah, so what we want to invite everyone to do right now is use the chat box below the screen, below this video, if you scroll down a little bit, and share with us an experience or a feeling from your ideal scene. One quality or characteristic that you want to see in the world. So from your ideal scene that we did in the first Collaboratory, or just think of one characteristic, one trait that you would love to see in the world today and in the future. Go ahead, scroll below this video and chat that in. You know, whether you were with us in the last Collaboratory, you have that scene, or it's your first time, what comes up when you think about the world that you want to see for yourself, maybe for your children, your grandchildren? Let's go ahead and just chat that below the video, and let's go ahead and begin. So I'm going to just share Benjamin, who shared from our first Collaboratory, as you're taking a moment to chat in the box below the video. He said, you know, this is the great awakening, and the energy of this allows me to be more of who I am, the authentic me.
Paul also said, when I think about the world I want, I really find myself smiling at the possibilities. And the fact is, I do as well, Paul. You know, when I stop being immersed in all the noise and the nonsense that's going around in the world, the typhoon of foolishness that comes from Washington, one of the things that I do is I begin to smile at what the world will be like when we're free of all of this trash, you know.
And there's one here from Nancy. She said, I imagine a world without these maniacs involved, a world that balances finely male and female energy. And I'm with you, Nancy. It seems like what's up in our world right now is balance, equality, just an equanimity that we need so much, compassion, acceptance of each other. And again, we can be ambassadors for this kind of change, every single one of us. So thank you. Thank you for, you know, it's important that we say what we feel and that we feel what we feel. If we're sad, we're sad. Whatever, I find myself sad a lot. And I let myself feel it and go on to the next feeling, because it doesn't do any good to stuff it. And I appreciate your comment. Thanks.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm going to share just one more, and then we'll move on here. And there's going to be more opportunities for everyone to share as we move along in this Collaboratory as well. But we have one here from Christina, and she says, everyday kindness and connection. And, you know, I just want to say, kindness is something I really believe we need a lot more of in the world right now. We don't need more division. We don't need more anger. We don't need more fear. This is something that, you know, I'm continuously working on. Every day I'm working with my children, with my wife, and with the people we come in contact with, is how to be more kind, how to be more understanding, how to be more compassionate. I'm certainly not perfect at it, but I can tell you, you know, one of the secrets for me that really helps me to be more kind and compassionate is to try to understand where that person's coming from. You know, if they're yelling at me, or if they're angry, or if they're attacking me, or whatever, even if I don't know them, trying to understand about what their childhood might have been like, what kind of traumas have they been through, how were they raised, what are the social conditioning situations that they went through that are triggering this anger, this fear, this resentment from them towards me or towards others. And I think if we can just put ourselves in someone else's shoes and take a step back, take a few deep breaths, connect to our heart like George guided us to, we can be a lot more kind, a lot more understanding, and certainly I think we'd have a lot better world to live in.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Nathan. Just that standing back and really taking the other person in and appreciating. I try to find something good about them, try to realize the light is right there in their heart and find something good to say to them. And what I find is it inspires a change in the direction of that person. It's a great thing. And then you shift the whole context of what you're talking about. So we want to thank you for sharing. We're going to invite more sharing a little further into the program here. And for the moment, let's return to that search for coherence that George, led us through, that alignment between our heads and our hearts. As we watch a few short segments, I can't wait, from interviews that we did recently with some of the wisdom keepers from our Ageless Living television series for PBS. In these interviews, Thomas Moore, John Gray, and ANITA MOORJANI share some valuable, really enlightening perspectives on this challenging and remarkable time we're living in. You're going to love this.
It's very important to realize that we are part of this planet. This pandemic is a planet-wide thing. It's an illness of the planet, of the human beings on the planet. And I think we have to pay attention to the first thing we have to do is listen. Say, what is this? What's the message? What are we being told to do? When I think of the earth as an animal, I think it's like a dog, in some ways. I like to think of the earth as a form of canine, a dog. And it's shaking us off like the dog would shake off, insects or brambles or something. And we have to pay attention and listen, or we are going to be really sorry. It's a big, big warning. So then the question to me is, what is it telling us? Basically, it's telling us that the way we're living, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. We can't be so narcissistic, so divided. And so I'm trying to take all the lessons I can from this illness as though it were speaking to me. So the planet itself is speaking to all of us and saying, you've got to change. And you've got to wise up and get smart. You've been unconscious for so long, coasting along. So that's my first take on it.
So many people are confined to their houses now. This is a time of crisis. It's a time of challenge. Challenge means we can thrive, we can grow, or we can go the other direction. And I have a lot to say about it. So I'm really excited to help couples and individuals at this time. Because what we need is the information to deal with it, because this is something we're not used to. Some statistics is in Wuhan, in China, where it all started. People went into the quarantine first. When they started coming out, the divorce rates went from the average in Wuhan to about 12 a week. Went to 300 a week. And there's pictures of people, long lines of people now trying to get divorced. I mean, really? This is like, yes, because it's a problem for couples. If they don't have the right skills, being together can be one of the worst things ever. You feel suffocated, you start getting emotional, you start feeling irritated. It's literally as if somebody's poking at you, and then you have time to get unpoked. Now they're poking and poking and poking and poking and poking. We literally become allergic to our partners, and it becomes a hyper reaction to them. And there's a way we can go the other direction, and once we have the understanding of what our new challenge is and how to overcome it.
So for many people, this is a confusing time because some people truly are panicking and fearful about the virus itself. Many people are. Many people believe other things. They believe that there is something behind it to do with maybe our government. Maybe it's to push vaccines or things like that. So different people have different theories. And some of these theories, people have been sending me articles that even have where they have sufficient like what they feel is evidence to back it up. Now, I believe, and I don't want to dismiss anything that anyone says, but I do believe that there is something greater than us going on, but I believe that it is something also divinely orchestrated to an extent. So what do I mean by this? What I mean is that no matter what it is, if you are panicking, then this is a call for you to stop panicking. So whether you are afraid of the virus itself, whether you are afraid of some government plan to control us and shut us down, or whether you are afraid it's the pharmaceutical agenda to push vaccines, whatever it is, if you are finding yourself afraid, this is the time to stop and to realize that, first of all, we are more than just physical beings. And no matter what the world outside appears to be, once we connect inside, we can shift. We can shift our outside world. And so this is where I would like to focus, because for me, it's super important for people to remain optimistic. Sometimes even when I say, oh, we have to remain positive, people will say, how can you be so positive when things are breaking down outside? So I like to use the word optimistic, because that means no matter what is happening, you can still remain optimistic that things are going to get better. And the minute you realize that things are going to get better, you feel hope and your energy shifts.
Amazing. One of the things that I love about the work that Sedina and I and Nathan have a chance to do is that we get a chance to spend time with people like Tom Moore and John and Anita. As Sedina mentioned earlier, they're part of our Telly Award-winning Ageless Living series. And before we go further, it is airing right now on PBS stations all around the country. And I just want to take a moment to do a little self-congratulation, not just for me and Sedina and Nathan, but for our whole Ageless Living team. We've just received 2020 Telly Award for the work that we did. And this really does belong to all of the people who have made this series possible. And again, with John and Anita and Tom, they and literally 19 other wisdom keepers represent the kind of gifted beings and the kind of quality information that you can have regular access to whenever you want in this thing that we're calling the Ageless Living membership. It includes an incredible online library composed of inspiring videos and audios and written material, quarterly courses, podcasts, blogs, a host of special bonus programs, all kinds of stuff that you'll receive in addition to quality discounts on group and individual and organizational coaching models, mastermind groups, and a number of special online conferences, retreats, and special events. We're going to talk more about this later, but I do want to tell you that at the end of the show, we're going to be giving away 2 free annual memberships in the Ageless Living community. And we'll be selecting those people from those of you who participate in the chats. So please participate in the chats and stick around. These will be founders memberships, and I know you'll want one. You will also be able to find out a lot of terrific stuff about this Ageless Living membership by clicking on the link that will happen below your screen. That's really what this part of our work is really all about. But what I'd like to do now is just open the chat, and I'd like to invite you to share a brief comment about something you may have heard from either Tom or John or Anita that touched you or triggered a sense of hope or gave you a valuable insight, even on a strategy that you want to practice. So just go to the box below and share something that you heard or learned or whatever. Remember, this is a collaboratory, right? We're in it together.
So we'll give everyone just a moment here to type in your responses to those extraordinary excerpts from those wisdom keepers you just saw. But we have one here from Michael already, and Michael says, it was refreshing to hear Thomas More say that we should not expect too much, that real change takes time. And that's the truth, right? I mean, I shared just a tiny bit of my personal story and journey at the beginning of this, and change has taken time in my own life, and a lot of time, and honestly, a lot of hard work, and a lot of meditation, and attending a lot of events like this, and interviewing lots of great wisdom keepers, and just mostly staying dedicated to myself, to becoming the best version of myself that I can possibly be. And I really believe I'll be doing that for the rest of my life. And things don't happen overnight, but certainly we stay committed to something, we can see change continuously. It's those little wins, those little things that start improving in your life. Those are the things that we need to be grateful for and continue doing.
And there's one here, Fran. Fran, thank you. Your comment about Anita's reference to fear and how destructive it is makes so much sense. As I said earlier, fear really is a contaminant. It's a virus in its own right, and it can really take us over. The main thing I feel that it does is it disconnects us from our spirit. And until we remember to breathe and come back into the present moment, back to our spirit and into our truth. So we can always come back. We always have that choice in every present moment to breathe and to be back in our spirit and not let fear run us. So thanks so much for that.
And you were laughing, you said, about John Gray's comment about the what it's like when you get kind of confined in an environment for a period of time with someone that you're having difficulty with. And in some ways that's true, but if you think about it, it also gives all of us a terrific opportunity to actually deal with whatever's in the way. And John has an endless number of great tools for both men and women that allow us to come back into balance, to recognize that the other person has just a whole set of different perspectives, you know? So,
right, gosh, we got all these other comments coming from what Anita said. Suzanne Hayes appreciated her comments regarding being optimistic. And Amanda, I love how Anita mentioned that we should not fear no matter what our perspectives are in the moment. Christina Nixon, thank you. I love hearing calm, intelligent people that give a perspective of the big picture to reduce fear, since that does no good for anyone or for the collective consciousness. You are so right, all of you. So, Nathan, there's some others ones here too.
Well, I think we have a guest in waiting in the wings, who's another voice that, if you're ready for a little humor and wisdom from Swami Banandananda, Many of you know Steve Berman as an internationally known author, humorist, and workshop leader. He was with us the last time. You also probably know for the last 23 years, he's been whacking us on the head by performing this role called the cosmic comic. And he's often irreverent and uplifting at the same time, which is not an easy thing to do. But it's always comedy disguised as wisdom. Swami, so nice to have you with us today.
Oh, it's great to be here. This is really very, very important time for us to be waking up, because we're going to have an awakening or we'll have a wake. Either way.
So what are some of the other things, in addition to either awakening or awake, that you think your predictions are for our planet?
Well, frankly, I don't make any predictions because I don't want to jeopardize my nonprofit status. But I will say this. I will say that these are very challenging times that we're seeing. And in fact, people are looking at the current new word, situation. We have a situation. And they're saying, is this the hand of God at work or just the middle finger? People are wondering about all that. And so it is very, very important that we recognize that, as somebody said earlier, as I guess St. Augustine said, we said earlier in the program, that really it is up to us. We've been given this amazing condition to deal with, and part of this is our evolution. I call it an evolutionary upwising, because we are going to wake up, we're going to wise up, and we're going to recognize that we have to leave the old system of dominate or be dominated and live into a system of we're all in this together. We've been living for 5,000 years under the rule of the lowest common denominator. And the golden rule has been overruled by the rule of gold, which is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Before they can do unto you, as a matter of fact. And so this has left us with a lot of residue to deal with, and that is what we are dealing with now. And so the question in front of us is, can we undo the do-do that has been done, or will the done do-do be our undoing?
Oh my gosh. That's great.
Yeah, that was really good.
Think about that. We have a 3-step program, which is guaranteed to work 4 times faster than 12-step. And the 3-step program of the upwising is wake up, yes, wake up and become aware of where we are right now, that we are in an evolutionary situation, that crisis precipitates evolution. Looking at the crises we have, chances of precipitation are about 100%. And we have to wake up to that evolutionary awareness, first of all. Then we have to have evolutionary intention, that we are to make our lives part of this great awakening, great uprising, and moving forward together as one human family, humankind. And as somebody mentioned earlier, the currency of humankind, human kindness, and that is how we express ourselves. So then we have to act every day as if we're all cells in the same body of humanity, because that is the realization that we're coming to. We're all connected. And so that is how we actually begin to thread the needle from where we are now to where we want to be.
Swami, as always, you bring us something that does wake us up and at the same time makes us smile. And a closing thought?
Well, I know these are times of great confusion. I just saw a survey, a poll. Apparently 65% of the people in this country are confused and the rest are not sure. This is something that is going on right now. And so the one thing, we have beliefs in our head that keep us separate. We need to leave these beliefs in our head, the dueling duality, for the unity of the heart. Laughter is a way to do that. Because when we laugh, there is often an aha in the wake of the ha-ha. And then there's an ah, as we leave the dueling duality of the head for the unity of the heart. Because what people believe is unbelievable. And so when we learn to move ourselves into our heart, we leave the static of the head to the ecstatic heart. The more we expand our hearts, the less we're going to need to shrink our heads, okay? And we've heard so much about artificial intelligence, and as we're coming to realize, we could use some real intelligence for a change. And that is the intelligence of the heart. That is the power of love that is more powerful than the power of fear. And the way I know that, otherwise we'd be singing, all you need is fear. She fears you, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're not singing that. That's good. So it's very
No, let's not start that song.
We're not going to start that song. We're going to have a new song that is really unifying us all together in one common, one human family. The universal oneness. If I'm one, you're one too.
Mm. Oh, I love it. I love it. So good to see you and to have the laughter. And thank you so much, Swami. As always, your unique insights and perspectives help us navigate this time we're living in with a smile on our face and in our hearts. I love what you were saying about the heart. It's perfect. And really what everybody was chatting about too. It's a way of staying optimistic for sure. So thank you for being with us.
Okay.
You are beyond Ananda, that's for sure.
May the force be with you. May the force be with you. Namaste and namaste go. Good night.
Thank you. All right, Steve Behrman, Swami Beyond Ananda. So in this next segment, we're going to ask everyone some questions we hope can help us remember how we can best get from here, which is not working very well, to a new world that we really want. You might want to jot down some answers, and we invite you to share one or two of them in the chat below your screen. So here's the first question. When you think about the world that you want, is there some inner desire nudging you to make a change? And if so, what kind of support do you think would be most helpful to you in getting from here to there? Just whatever comes up, don't need to think about it, what comes up from your heart. And you can chat below the screen. When you're thinking about the world you want, is there some inner desire nudging you to make a change? If so, what kind of support do you think would be most helpful in getting you from here to there?
And while you jot down,
Mm-hmm.
and while you jot down your answer to that question, you can think about this next question and write it down as well. If you ever had a coach or mentor who helped you make a major and positive change in your life, ask yourself, what was a characteristic or quality that coach had, or what was the change that they helped you to make? Think about that for a moment. Write a simple answer, whatever comes from your heart. If you ever had a coach or a mentor who helped you make a positive change, ask yourself, what was the characteristic or the quality that coach had, or what was the change that they helped you to make?
Third question. Have you ever been part of a team, a support, resource, or mastermind group that made a difference in your life? And if so, what is or was that difference? So again, been part of a team, support, resource, or mastermind group that made a difference in your life. And what is or was that difference?
Mm.
So we'll share a couple of your answers here
Yeah.
while you continue to answer these in the chat. But Amanda says, we need to start by working on our internal world before our exterior world can shift. Example, start with self-love. So true. I mean, absolutely beautiful and well said. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Amanda.
Beautiful. I find in my own life there's so many ways, Amanda, that I can get to that. Had, oh my gosh, 38 years and 12-step programs and tons of other things that I've done transformational. And it's just really, truly changed my life. And it has, just like you say, brought me to the interior. And then I can express in the exterior world. Thank you for that. And Jeannie's, thank you, saying, Hayner says, if I pronounce that right, Hanner, having more supportive webinars like this. Thank you, Jean. Thank you so much. Nurturing discipline. Yes, yes.
And Hada Pomeroy, nudged to be living in community, though my town is quite communal, wanting to find this information as have been over the years in such emergent collectives. I'm not sure that the typing came through perfectly, but I think the concept of community is a place where coaches and mentors and teams and support really make a huge difference in our lives. The truth of the matter is, I don't know anyone who isn't standing on the shoulders of a whole lot of other people. And that there have been people who have shared comments and strategies and ideas and hopes and dreams with us. And they've certainly inspired me and helped me to move beyond obstacles and difficulties that I've experienced in my life. So whether it's been a coach or a team in a sports environment, whether it's been a teacher in a class, they have changed my whole life, and I am so deeply grateful to them.
And Elizabeth Gregg Carden says, believing we each already have within us all we need. Woo, that's the perfect truth right there. And when we're willing to love ourselves and realize that we have everything we need, it's interesting. I don't know about you, Elizabeth, but I find that it all comes to me. Everything else I need and the next steps I need come to me. It's just the way it works. It's the way our universe is set up. We are totally supported in every moment and held in this universal energy. And thank you for that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I see so many more comments coming through, and thank you all so much for continuing to share. Thank you for your sharing. And we do want you to know that your contributions really add significantly to the value of our coming together, just like this, which is one of the reasons we'll keep experimenting with ways to make this sharing possible and the concept of collaboratory like this a reality. And we're constantly improving as we go along, and we love your continuing to collaborate with us. So let's look at some of the ways that you might choose to get from here, which most of us agree is pretty awkward, dysfunctional time in our history, to a new there, a world that each of us wants, the world that you want for yourself, for your future. One choice you can make is to be a part of our new annual Ageless Living membership. It will give you unlimited access to a valuable library of carefully chosen videos, audios, and written pieces featuring some of the leading wisdom keepers of our time. These are experts who we've had the privilege of working with and who support us all in leading a more inspired, informed, empowered life, a life of greater consciousness and quality, and honestly, just of greater meaning and purpose. The life, in fact, that we were all born to live. You know, this inspiring library includes hundreds of valuable insights and inspiration and recommendation, as well as proven life strategies from more than 60 remarkable wisdom keepers, people who I'm sure you know, and maybe who are even mentors of yours. And the good news is that you'll be able to view, listen, and digest this wisdom at your own timing in the privacy of your home, your car, your office, from your phone, your computer, as often as you want. And this library will keep growing month after month as we continue to add to it.
Right. And your Ageless Living membership will also include a number of very special bonuses, television specials, music concerts, documentaries, and more, plus very innovative courses, one each quarter, presented in a wonderful new short format that makes it easier to learn and easier to fit into your life. And of course, your participation in our monthly World I Want Collaboratory, where we can come together to support each other, learn, share, and become architects of our individual and collective future. And soon we will be having, we'll open up our collaboratories, and they'll be interactive and on Zoom, and we'll have a small breakout groups and all of that. And we'll be doing that periodically. So it's just going to get better and better. And every fourth collab, well, I said, I don't know if it's every fourth, but it will be soon. You'll also receive terrific discounts on individual and group coaching, master classes, and a special 1 and 2 day conferences, retreats, and special events. It's just chock full of all kinds of good things.
You know, it's natural to say, hey, so what? You know, will this Ageless Living membership, with all the benefits and bonuses and whatnot, is it going to answer all of your questions? Absolutely not. Is it going to give you one magic formula that will immediately eliminate all of your problems without any additional effort on your part? Not in a universe that I've been living in, at least. It is possible, of course, that sometimes a single piece of advice, a comment, a recommendation ignites a spark in us and sets us in motion toward a new way of being. However, most of us know that genuine transformation is cumulative. We earn it by rolling up our sleeves and experimenting with different insights, advice, practical recommendations, and proven strategies. Yeah, commitment, persistence, practice, when they're combined with a reasonable amount of support and encouragement, can produce, you know, the kind of positive results we want. So we really want you to know that if you watch, listen, and read the valuable offerings in the library, the Ageless Living Library, and in the bonus programs, you'll take your next step to fulfilling some of your goals and living your aspirations. And just a few more things about Ageless Living. The focus is on wisdom as opposed to information, because wisdom is ageless and timeless, whereas information is transitory, especially in this age where so much information is being manipulated and distorted. Instead, like the fundamental laws of nature that have guided life for hundreds of thousands of years, wisdom never loses its relevance, no matter how young or old we may be, or what may be happening in one period or another of our lives. As they say, if you think wisdom is expensive, try ignorance.
You know, this is the reason we've taken a lot of time designing Ageless Living and assembling such a wealth of material that can help all of us make our next step toward the best stages of our lives. You know, here's some of the things that your Ageless Living membership can certainly help you to do. One of the things is help you learn how to stay younger and more passionate about your life, how to improve your health and vitality, how to reconnect with your creativity and the dreams you came here to manifest, develop more loving and fulfilling personal relationships and build a genuine sense of community. Explore second and third careers as well as unretirement. Develop a strong sense of self-love and confidence and share your best self with the world. Be more resilient in a rapidly changing world. Improve your diet, nutrition, your brain coherence. Leave a legacy of genuine hope and value to those you live, to those you love, and those you want to impact in your life. And honestly, so much more.
Lots of good stuff. Here are a few examples of what your membership will give you access to. Age Nation's Navigating Your Future Summit, a breakthrough 12-hour global digital summit library. It was hosted by George and myself, featuring Angela Zarian, Greg Braden, Joe Dispenza, Joan Borisenko, Norma Shealy, and more extraordinary wisdom keepers. Our Ageless Wisdom, our 2-day Qigong and Conscious Aging Conference, which was a celebration of consciousness, wellness, wisdom, and community with George and me and Master Ming Tong Gu. And we were joined by Father Richard Rohr, Joan Borisenko, Andrew Harvey, Judith Orloff, Nathan Crane, and others.
We also have an Enliven Living Conference library that's part of the annual membership, and that's coming soon. It includes 2 heart and mind expanding fun-filled days presented on the Mile High campus in Denver. Mark Nepo, Amit Goswami, Marilyn Schlitz, Gabriel Cousins, Cynthia James, Dr. Sunil Pai, and a whole lot more. There's also new inspirational online courses. One of the things we've tried to do, and Nathan mentioned it, is we've tried to make things that and create things that work in our daily lives. So your membership will include 4 courses, one each quarter. And the first one is called Rediscovering Meaning and Purpose 10 Minutes at a Time. It really is designed to fit in to the times we're living in. The second course is called Wholesome Living, and it's a 21-day life transformational health course that can make a huge difference in your life.
You will also receive members-only special discounts on advanced individual, group, and organizational coaching, as well as master classes and special half-day, one-day, and multiple-day digital conferences, retreats, as well as other featured events we'll be producing through Ageless Living. And honestly, this membership is packed full right now, but it's just the beginning. There's so much more that's going to continue to be a part of it, to support you in your life and your loved ones as we move forward into creating this world that we want. So if you're ready to create the world that you really want, we encourage you to click the Join Now button on this page. You can click the link below this video and become a founding member of the Ageless Living community. This is really an exciting time as we're launching this. We're really excited to invite you to be a part of it with us, because as a founding member, you'll also receive a special 33% discount on either option you choose, whether you just want to do monthly, month to month, or you want an annual subscription. And when you choose the annual option, you'll also receive an additional 2 months free in addition to the 33% discount. So go ahead, click that Join Now button below this video if you want to take a look at the information and join us in the Ageless Living membership community. Or you can go to agelesslivingseries.com/my-membership.
So just a few other things. There are a lot of bonuses. You see, I hope you get that we're really doing our very best to collect the best information we can and to present it in a way that's authentic and gives you the chance to learn at your own pace in your own private world, but also to build up a reservoir of support and encouragement to help you create the world that you want. One of the bonuses is a television special Sadina and I did called the Do Not Go Quietly special. It was, we were joined by host Julie Moret and some really wonderful guests, Gene Houston, Ram Dass, Michael Mead, Rabbi Zalman Schachter Shalome, Barbara Marks Hubbard, and Michael Bernard Beckwith. You'll get a chance to see the award-winning documentary Dying to Know by Gay Dillingham. Dying to Know includes a great dialogue between Timothy Leary and Ram Dass, and it was narrated by Robert Redford. Dreaming Heaven is a documentary about the Toltec mysteries and the sacred journeys we can take that can make us such a difference in our lives. And there's a Robert Mirabal concert. As you know, Robert's a Grammy Award-winning performer. But this is an intimate evening with Robert, accompanied by his 3 daughters, and a musical performance of the Sacred Corn Dance. It's really wonderful. So you get all of this, plus the discounts Nathan talked about and all the rest of it. The important thing is you get the kind of support that can help you create the world that you want. And all you need to do is, as Nathan said, go to agelesslivingseries.com/my-membership. Nathan, I think we have some winners, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and announce the winners of, we're picking 2 people who've been participating in the chat. I've been managing that on my other computer right here. We're reading everything you've been posting, and love all of your posting and sharing with us. And we're going to pick 2 of you for a free annual membership to Ageless Living membership as a founding member. And the first person that wins an annual membership is Christina Nixon. Christina Nixon is the first person to receive your annual membership for free. We'll just need your email address and we'll send you your membership. I'll reach out to you as well for that. And the second person is Valerie Stasik or Stasik. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. But Valerie, you are our second winner of the annual Ageless Living membership. So thank you all for being a part of this. Thank you all for sharing. And we do encourage everyone who's on this to click that link below and join us in the Ageless Living membership. And before we wrap up here, Sadina is going to lead us through an ideal scene visioning. So make sure you stay here with us until the very end.
Thanks, Nathan. Please don't go away, because this is the time where, since the world is what we are dreaming into being in each new moment anyway, it just seems to make sense to invest just a couple of minutes to dream a new world with greater sanity, sustainability, equality, love, compassion, all the things that we want. Time to create our ideal scene for this new world. So thanks for staying with me. There's a Chinese expression that says, where the mind goes, the qi, or the energy, follows. So let's focus the incredible power of our minds now on this new dream, this new beginning for ourselves and our planet, and just know that the energy will follow. So breathing deeply is the most fundamental and really welcome thing we can do to bring the connection to our spirit and bring the focus to our heart. So we can do that by smiling to our heart, and we're going to move our focus to our heart right now and breathe together, breathing in and exhaling with the sound of ha. I hope you're joining me, breathing in. Go of any disbelief that you might have that it could be better. Again. Now, as George suggested, just maybe place a couple fingers on your heart and smile. Big smile to your heart. And the heart opens with the sunshine of your smile. And now, move your focus from your heart to your mind, to your head, and to the mental screen about a foot in front of your forehead. and allow that mental video to play your ideal scene. And I'll walk you through it. First of all, see yourself in a wonderful place, feeling great, knowing that you are healthy and happy and thriving at every level. Feel that, breathe that in. See the positive changes in the world happening all around you. Just suspend disbelief and let whatever comes up come up. What do the changes look like? What do they feel like? Take another breath and see, what are you doing? How is it different than what you're doing now in the world? What can you give in this new world, and what can you learn? Another deep breath. And ask yourself, what am I doing that makes me happy in this new world? Allow whatever surfaces to be okay, without judgment. What are you expressing through creativity and love? Are you an ambassador for change? Allow images or feelings to come up and smile to all of it. What proactive position of community involvement or service are you doing that will support yourself and others? Whatever images or ideas come up, just allow them and breathe into the feelings that arise. If your video begins to play some doubts or old scary thoughts, limited beliefs, take another breath and just replace those with new images that you want to see, the people in your life who are supporting you, the actions you're taking that support others and the world. See the things you're doing. See yourself actively engaged and happy, making your life better every day. Can you see the beauty in everything and find meaning in every experience? Breathe into that. Keep visualizing without limits what it is that you truly want in this new world you're living in. See the world around you. See the sustainability. Whatever your image is of this new world, let it come up. Now turn up the volume, the sound, the colors, the emotions. See yourself, feel yourself healthy, fulfilled, and expansive. See all of the beauty around you. Hear the sound of joy and laughter. Feel the inspiration, compassion for people everywhere. Feel the abundance, the sufficiency for people everywhere. Know there is enough for everyone in this new world. And it's enough to just it's not enough really to just visualize the world we want or even feel it. We need to go one more step. We need to see ourselves and see and feel our planet delivered and free. Just see it already happening. And release that. Know that it's already taking place because you're the co-creator. Bring your attention back to your heart and smile to your heart. And then slowly open your eyes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sedina.
Thank
Such
you.
a beautiful time to envision together, envision the future. Thank you for that. And, thank you all for being here with us. If some of the things that we and our friends and collaborators have shared with you call to you and resonate with the truth that you carry in your heart, we do hope that you'll join us for the next World I Want Collaboratory. Keep an eye out for your emails because we'll send you all the details about that. But we also hope you'll join us in the Ageless Living membership. Click the button below for all the details on that. And keep an eye out for follow-up emails. We'll send you all the details there as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being with us and taking your very precious time to join us and support us in this effort. We hope you'll join us in the membership and be part of our tribe. And going forward, you know, it takes a village. So, and we could use one right now. As for the next session, we're going to cover more essential ground. We'll share excerpts from other conversations and talks by other wisdom keepers. And there'll be a lot more time for sharing. And as I said, some interactive sharing, because we'll open up the Zoom and have breakout groups, and it'll be a lot of fun. Additional information on the scope of the world I want, collaboratories, and more time in this center without walls, where we're safe, where collective wisdom is shared. I really look forward to sharing it with you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Sadina. We also apologize for running a little late tonight. We know we covered a lot of information about the membership and all of the different elements and whatnot. We just want you to know that it's taken us decades to create it. So we wanted to be sure that at least you had a chance to understand the depth and the scope of this possibility. We also want to keep coming together. We want to stay focused on this alignment between our heads and our hearts. We want to take time to listen more to the wisdom that comes from both within us and from the real truth tellers. We want to deepen our commitment to creating the greatest good for the greatest number. These are all such critical things. We also want to remind you that, you know, the Ageless Living television series is 40 episodes comprised of really an extraordinary group of people who are sharing decades of insight and understanding that they've developed in the trenches. And this is the kind of stuff that the world needs. So call your local station and find out if it's playing in your PBS market. And if it's not, call your station and say that you understand this is really good stuff and you and the people that you love would love to see it. So we really look forward to seeing you soon. And we're going to leave you with a little short video that touched our hearts. And you may have seen it and let it touch your heart again. But above all, stay true to yourself. Stay true to this absolute need in this time to create a new story, a new world. The world is so desperate to be done with the noise and the rubbish and so anxious to move ahead. And this is one of our chances to do it and to do it together. So from our hearts to you, we thank you and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Bye for now.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Oh.